That doesn't look right. Fact is, it's entirely possible if you don't maintain your wheel bearings. On that note, this is how to change your wheel bearings in 6 steps. Here's what you'll need. First of all, safety glasses, disposable gloves, degreaser and plenty of rags. Then a trolley jack, wheel chocks and axle stands. Your tools include a bench vise, hammer, adjustable spanner, screwdrivers, punches, pliers and a race and seal driver kit. Finally, you need plenty of bearing grease and 1 wheel bearing kit per wheel. If your trailer has a manual, you can find the correct bearing type there. If not, you can remove your old bearings first and find the part numbers you need stamped upon them. Let's dive into step 1. Remove the wheel. Apply the park brake if equipped. Chock 1 wheel and loosen the wheel nuts on the opposing wheel. Then you can raise it, remove the wheel nuts and away goes the wheel. Now step 2. Removing the hub. First, remove the dust cap. You can tap it gently with a hammer, turning the hub as you go, or try prying with a screwdriver. Once the dust cap's off, you'll find a large castle nut with a split pin through it. Use your pliers to straighten and extract the split pin. Now the castle nut will come away easily. There's a washer behind this and possibly other parts, so take note of how everything's assembled. Place your fingers around the sides of the hub and thumbs over the center. This will stop the outer bearing from shooting across the floor. Now, pull! It could be tight and may need a wriggle or tap with the hammer to help it along. Once your hub's on the bench, you're ready for step 3, stripping the hub. Secure the hub in your bench vise and remove the outer bearing. Looking down through the hub, you'll see the inner bearing and the seal. Use your hammer and punch to strike the bearing and push these both out. After clearing away some old grease, looking down the center of the hub, you should see the lip at the back of each bearing race. This is where you'll position your punch to drive each race out. The races are intentionally tight, so take your time. Alternate your punch between each side of the race and be careful that your punch hits only the race and not the bore of the hub. Once both races are out, you can perform a thorough cleanup with more rags and some degreaser. Head over to your trailer and clean up the spindle while you're at it. Now things begin coming together in step 4, fitting the bearing races. And the first thing you should do is pop those new bearing races in your freezer. This super tip will cause the cold metal to contract, making fitment much easier. Before you drive the new races in, inspect the bores in the hub. If you slipped with the punch and caused damage earlier, you'll need to work with files and sandpaper to get it smooth again. Using the bearing race and seal driver kit will ensure your new races aren't damaged. Each collar in the kit will suit a different bearing race or seal. Once you've found a good fit, attach the handle. Make sure your hub is leveled securely in the bench vise. Place the new bearing race on top and ensure the taper is facing outwards. Give it a few gentle taps with your race driver, then check it's not crooked. You can gently tap with the hammer to level it out if required. Now continue striking the race driver to seat the race all the way into the hub. You'll hear the change in tone and feel a difference in feedback through the handle when the race is fully seated. Repeat this process for the other race. Then we can move on to step 5, installing the bearings. They're going to need some grease first, so with a fresh pair of disposable gloves, scoop a fat blob of grease into one hand and work the grease into the large end of the bearing taper like so. Keep going until you see grease pushing through the small end of the taper. Rotate the bearing a little and continue this way until the bearing is fully packed. The large inner bearing can now be placed into the hub. Match your seal with the flat side of a collar from your bearing and seal driver kit. Then smear a dab of grease around the outer edge of your seal and drive the seal until it sits flat with the edge of the hub. You don't want to drive it deeper than this. Fill the hub with grease to the inside diameter of the outer races and over at your trailer, smear a light coating on the spindle shaft. Now it's time for step 6, finishing the job. Slide your freshly assembled hub over the spindle until the seal meets the rear. Follow it up with the outer bearing, any washers and the castle nut you removed in step 2. Tighten the castle nut until your hub won't spin, then back it off, turn the hub and repeat this a few times. Next, you need to get the bearing pre-load, so replace your wheel and tighten it firmly to the hub. Grasp the wheel with your hands at opposite positions and try to rock the wheel. If you feel movement, tighten the castle nut. Now, give the wheel a spin. If it won't spin 1 or 2 revolutions, you need to loosen the castle nut a little. Once you've found the perfect tension, turn the castle nut just enough to align the holes, insert the split pin and bend it over. This process should be repeated every so often in the future as part of your trailer maintenance. Now just tap on your new dust cap, lower the wheel, tighten the wheel nuts, and you're done. Well, for this side at least. Find detailed instructions and more ways to help you make it super with Supercheap Auto's Super DIYs. Make it super at Supercheap Auto.